Hi everyone, welcome back. Patricia here. The theme of surviving my road trip was timed release. Every so many miles, every so many minutes, I released another little trick or technique to help the road trip go. That way I didn't give everything right in the beginning and they were bored or over all their fun things. But my girls are 2 and 1, and one faces forward and one faces backward, and it was hairy at times, but it was a lot better than I expected. So we started off the road trip with nothing. It was just as though we were going to the market. No special snacks, cups, drinks, movies, anything. Just regular driving. Their excitement got them through. Plus, one of my tips is to leave a little earlier. Not so early that you're tired or the driver's tired, but just a little earlier so they can potentially fall asleep in the car at some point. So after the initial excitement wore off, they were really quiet and attentive, and then they started to get bored, and I introduced water. Yep, that's it. I'm so crazy that the only thing I give my children is water. But I gave them water in cups that they don't typically use. So that was interesting. Plus my daughter, my 1-year-old, has never really had her own water cup in the car. We just take short trips to town. So this is the first time she had that cup. My 2-year-old got a cup she doesn't normally use. So just a little drink, kept them entertained, kept them refreshed. Because when you're in a road trip, what do you kind of want to do? Snack and drink. So I figured they're the same. So going to snacks, I introduced snacks that I don't normally give them. So this is where all your structure and routine pays off. It's time to kind of break it. And you've always said no, too many snacks. Well, today you're going to bring out the snacks. So the thing that kept my kids really happy was cereal. They don't eat cereal very often. Olivia only tried cereal this year for the first time. And so it was really nice to have some Cheerios. In addition, I gave them new snack cups that neither of them had ever seen. This was sort of like something I'm sure you use, but you like put your hand in and it slows you down to getting all the treats out. That was so my 1-year-old could feed herself without putting handfuls in her mouth. And I get really nervous about feeding them in the car because I can't get to them if they're choking. So I figured a small thing like a Cheerio paired with the cup that prevents you from pouring the whole thing out would help. I will, however, say that both my children figured out how to pour the whole thing out. The next simple thing is music, interesting music. I did listen to Tony Robbins for about half of the trip. I love listening to his speeches, but eventually I did switch over to some Disney music, and Olivia was really excited. What? How did this happen? You know, she had never heard it in the car. So that was really nice to give her something to listen to. Plus, we still have it in the car now, making our trips to the market a little more fun. I also went ahead and made some sensory bottles. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I made some with rice in the past, but this time I did sort of like the water with glycerin technique, and I used the Purple Alphabets video. It will be linked below. Totally copied everything she did, just about, but they were really interesting. And now, once again, now that we're home, my girls have something to play with. Olivia's having a lot of fun stacking those up, but they were really interesting in the car, and they traded them back and forth and had a good time kind of looking at those. And I think it kind of relaxed them and lulled them into a sleep for a while. We have to go back to good old pen and paper. I used a small clipboard and I just cut down some printer paper and I tied the pen with twine. I suggest doing this too because if your child drops the pen or pencil, you're gonna have a hard time reaching in the back seat trying to pick it up without needing to pull over all this stuff. Blank paper and a pen was all my 2-year-old needed, but some ideas for some older children are to do a sort of like an I Spy game, and you can do variations of that by doing bingo or word search just to get them looking out the window and seeing other sights that they don't always see. I also saw this great idea from Obs and Lala. She doesn't make videos much anymore. Her idea was to take pictures of landmarks that they had stopped at in the past and print them out and use them sort of as a map so that her son could say like, oh, we're going to be stopping at this place. And when we got there, he kind of used it as a map to guide his way. I think that's a fantastic idea. And when all else fails, technology is your friend. You can bring out a DVD player or an iPad or something. We didn't do that. I do limit screen time. Although if I had something like that, I may have considered pulling it out. But the trip wasn't long enough. I didn't feel to warrant that. Plus, like I said, we don't have anything like that. But in the future, for an airplane or something, I would not hesitate to pull out my phone or an iPad or something. I have to say the best tip I can give you is timed release. Don't put it all out there at the beginning. Give it little by little by little. You're going to want to get your mom bag organized. My kids are so small, so on the foot of the back seat, I had a nicely organized container there that I can just pull things out. We made one stop and then I kind of reset everything, and it was great. I debated on using an over-the-seat organizer that I've had for some time, but I figured with my child, the forward-facing child she's 2, she would see that the entire time, and it would kind of blow the surprise. Plus, sometimes I do feel like less is more. It's just a personal thing for me, but maybe in the future that's something I will use. If you do want to use that, maybe hang it at your first pit stop, just so, like I said, you can do the timed release. I thought in each pocket it would be neat to have a different activity that they can do, a different snack, and so on. So where are you going this summer, and what tips do you plan to use? If you've traveled before with kids, I'm sure you already have some tips to share, so please write them in the comments below so that as everyone travels and our kids grow, we can refer to your suggestions to help us get to our final destination. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy travels, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.